Hi guys, I am very aware that I have been super quiet on the YouTube front. I've been super busy as well and I've had no time to record, and I have been doing quite a lot of the same sets recently. So I will apologise for being quiet. But here's a set. As I say, it's a little bit similar to what I've been doing, but it is a tad different. So I thought I'd get this one uploaded for you guys. So as you can see, I am using a lovely fine glitter on her little finger. I am doing a full glitter finger. The glitter I'm using is a fine wine, which is available from my festive stacker from Diamond Glitters. Danielle has been lovely enough to pot some more up, so there is some more online, so if you want them, please go ahead and grab one while you can. So you can see this is a gorgeous mix of really fine glitters. So I'm just filling the whole nail, making sure everywhere's nice and covered, and just making sure it's not too bulky. I've got a nice thin layer. Just teasing it really slowly with my brush and then pulling down. And I'm just going to add a tiny bit more just at the free edge area, as it was just a little bit thin, a little bit sparse. So happy with the coverage, so I'm going to move on to the ring finger. As you can see, this client did have quite flat nail beds, so they weren't the easiest to work with. They were a little bit of a test, I'm not going to lie. But we managed it, we pulled through. So I'm using CJP's Black Magic, and I'm going to do a full nail of this. This is a core structure powder, so I can actually build the apex with this product. So I'm making sure that I'm getting my apex in, making sure that it's nice and flush around cuticles, and then I'm going to pat and pull this product down. I'm just patting, making sure I'm happy that it's all in place. I have got a little bit on skin there. Well, it's just the pigment on the skin, it's not actually the product. But we all know what black is black is honestly, it's like my favourite colour in the world. I love black, but it's just so bloody messy. So messy. So I'm just applying another bead at the free edge area, making sure that it is thick enough. And I'm turning my brush round and I'm pulling that back, making sure it's nice and even. Neatening up my free edge, and like I say, just patting it into place, just checking the thickness there. Then I'm going to move on to the middle nail. So I'm using CJP's Perfect Peach. Said a million times, it's the old formula, so you do have to work quite wet with it. It's not the easiest product to work with, but it is a beautiful colour, so it can be forgiven. So you can see that her nail is really flat, like flat and wide nail. So that cuticle area did prove a little bit challenging for me, shall we say. But once they're all filed in, it does look absolutely fine. So I'm just going to place a tiny bit more here. And just feather that down. Making sure there's no harsh line. And then I'm going in to the famous cherry cola. We all love cherry cola. It's my favourite drink as well, so it just makes me so happy. So I've gone into my clear powder and then straight into my raw glitter. This glitter is not pre-mixed, it is a raw glitter. So I've gone into my clear powder and then I'm popping it on the nail. And I'm just using nice small movements just to make sure that I've got a lovely full coverage on that free edge area. As you can see, really nice small movements. And I'm just going to move just a few pieces there because I want that to like sort of fade nicely into that peach. And then I decided I wanted to do something else, so I went into my fine wine glitter again and I just popped that on top Try to give it a little bit more depth. And to be honest, I bloody love a fine wine, so I just wanted to use it a bit more. So moving on to the index finger. So on the index finger, I did an extended nail bed. And again, I used Perfect Peach. I want to get rid of that flipping glitter. There we go. Yes, I used Perfect Peach just because I had used Perfect Peach on the ombre on the middle finger. So like I've said before, I like to use the same colour pink the whole way through the set. Took my brush on a 45-degree angle, as you can see. So I want to leave the bulk of my product on my smile line area, and I want to feather the rest of the product into the nail bed. Then I'm going to use the tip of my brush to sweep that all into place. Going to give my brush a clean off. Did feel a little bit sticky. And then I'm going to pop on my cuticle bead. So teasing that into the cuticle area and the side wall. And you can see how wet I'm having to work with this, because if not it just sets instantly. So you do need to do a little bit more filing with this one. So I'm just pulling the front of that bead now over to my smile line, making that blend in nicely, making sure it appears like it's just one bead. Just sweeping that smile line back in, make sure it's nice and neat. So I'm now going to move on to the thumb. And on the thumb I am using Perfect Peach again on the nail bed area. Oh, my dog's just sneezing in the background, clearly allergic to these voiceovers. So I'm just teasing that into the cuticle area and side walls, and then I'm using the belly of my brush to flatten that out and pat it down. And then just blend that down a little bit, just so we haven't got too much of a harsh line. So just feathering it in. Then I am going to go into CJP's Loganberry. Now I have picked this bead up way too wet, and as soon as I put it on I realised, but I just thought, oh, I'm not even taking it off. I'm just running with it, I'm just doing it. So it's CJP's Loganberry. This isn't available anymore, but they have brought out a gorgeous new colour which is similar but a lot darker. And it's called Mulberry, so go and check that out, guys, on the CJP website, because it is an absolute stunner. It's amazing. Oh my god, I love it. I tried to talk this client into having it, but she was like, no, I want this one. I was like, oh, okay. Customer is always right. So now I have gone into a fine wine and cherry cola, and I'm just putting that over the blend of the two previous colours. I'm going up one side of the side wall as always, and then I am coming down the other side of the free edge. So you can see it's nice small movements as always with the glitter, just making sure that I'm happy, just pushing my side walls in there just a tad so there was no bulk. And I'm just going to add a tiny bit more just to bring that right up that side wall area. And just making sure that I've got that line covered so you can't see where one colour ends and the other begins. So now we're going to go ahead and cap the full set. So capping in CJP's Crystal Glass as I always do. Absolutely no difference. I am sure you're sick of hearing me say it. So popping that bead on, pushing it into place. Making sure I'm happy with my cuticle area and side wall before I start pulling this bead down. Always cap a little bit wetter with glitters, or I tend to anyway, just because I like to get that clarity, and I think you get it a little bit more when you work that tiny bit wetter. So I'm just patting that all into place, making sure there's not too much bulk on one side. checking that it's nice and even the whole way around. Just going to add a little bit more at that apex area. And I'm happy with this one. So I've now capped the full set and I have filed them all in, and now I am going over the full black nail with the Gel Bottle Inks Cat Eye 05. You all know this is one of my favourite polishers. It's definitely my most popular one in salon. It's an absolute beauty. I love, love, love it. I always do it over black as well. I just think it pops so much more, but it can be used just sort of over itself, but definitely I think it's just so much nicer over black. So I'm going to hold over the magnet for a couple of seconds, and voila! I'm going to pop that into the lamp to cure for 30 seconds. So now I'm going to do a textured nail on the little finger. I always apply full glitter underneath the textured nail, just in case you do get any little pieces what sort of rub away. Don't tend to, but just in case you do, you can't really tell as much because the glitter's underneath. So I'm putting that onto a wet layer. Yes, I am aware that I have cut this client. Her cuticles were very, very dry. But it's December, everyone's cuticles are dry, and she doesn't cuticle oil, she doesn't get enhancements done at all. So obviously she wasn't aware of the protocol. So I'm going to pop that out of the way, and then I'm going to top coat the rest of these now. Absolutely, I love that cat eye. It is stunning, and it just complements Cherry Cola perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. And I'm going to top coat the Cherry Cola ombre. Also, for some reason, I have not recorded me doing the smile line on the next nail, which I do apologise for, but I have used CJP's Loganberry. As you can see there, for some reason, it's not in the video. I don't know why. It possibly could be somewhere on my iPad. I must have recorded it, but I'm not going back and re-editing now, so I'll have to do the voiceover all over again, and I am tired. I want my bed. And we're going to top coat this one and pop into the lamp to cure for 30 seconds, and just like magic you will see the finished set in around 3, 2, 1. Voila! Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.